Yeah, so Baltimore destroyed Pittsburgh from start to finish. Lamar Jackson was making the big plays. He was making the small plays. I think that he's starting to kill that narrative. Do you need to see more from him? What more do you need to see from him?
No, in order for me to be like, yep, you don't have to worry about him in the playoffs anymore, I certainly do need to see more. But this was a huge step in the right direction. And I won't minimize it. Because here is the thing that I thought was unique about this game. And this people got, whenever people talk about the Houston game last year, and I point out the fact that he was not very good in the first half of that game, people think I'm being unfair because he was so good in the second half that why does it matter? It matters only in this context. We had only seen Lamar have one, prior to this weekend, one good playoff game in his career. And even in that game, he was shaky for a half, got his footing, and then was excellent. Saturday, DeMonze, he was awesome from the first play of the game. There was no, the game's a blowout eventually, but it was... Opening drive, 3rd and 13. 3rd and 13, dime touchdown pass. Like that, the game wasn't a blowout then. All the nerves were there then. You're playing Pittsburgh. So he gets a ton of credit for that. A ton of credit for that. Now, I have consistently made, and some people look at this as a compliment. Some people look at this as an insult. I mean it as neither. But I have consistently made the Peyton Manning comparison, and we went through that playoff game log last week, so we'll do it once more. The Peyton in the 03 postseason had those two games where he had 8 touchdowns, 0 picks. And then in the conference championship game, 1 touchdown, 4 picks, disaster, right? Take that to be Lamar last year, where he had was excellent in the game leading up to the conference championship game, then not good in the conference championship game. Wasn't 1 touchdown, 4 picks bad, but also wasn't 8 touchdowns, 0 picks good. The very next year, in his first playoff game, DeMonze, Peyton Manning had 5 touchdowns, 1 turnover, a 145 rating. And then in the very next game, they lost 20-3. And he had 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. I say that to say this. I have not seen enough to say, oh, he just is a different player. I will say, because I don't think it was just a playoff thing for Lamar. I thought it was his inability to beat the Steelers in the regular season was a part of this. You can now argue, DeMonze, it's been 2 of these in a row. Really good performances. The regular season game against Pittsburgh, and then this playoff game. And I said this on the TV show, but I want to say it again here. Because Danny said to me, he was like, yeah, you've set yourself up, so as long as Lamar doesn't win the Super Bowl, you get to claim you were right. That's not true. In order for me to believe, DeMonze, that Lamar is over his playoff woes, he does not have to win the Super Bowl. He doesn't even have to get to the Super Bowl, because I don't think it's fair to ask anyone to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. What he has to do, what is incumbent on Lamar, as he's just first team All-Pro and might win MVP again, is that he does not have his worst game of the year in the playoffs. Because all 4 times previously he's been in the playoffs, that's happened. His worst individual game and the fewest points they scored in any game all year came in the playoff game. So this weekend, if they play a classic against Buffalo, and Lamar's an A-, but Josh is an A+, and the Bills win, I give you all my word. I will not be coming on here being like, see, told you so. Lamar can't get it done. That's not what it is. It is not flatly Super Bowl or bust. I just need him to play at regular season-ish Lamar level for a whole playoff run. And if they lose, they lose. And this game was a huge step in the right direction. And so I know people don't like my Lamar opinion. I don't think DeMonte likes my Lamar opinion. But that's where I stand on it. And the reason I'm going to keep hammering the Peyton Manning drum is it's to illustrate that you can be, even if he doesn't get over this, he'll still likely become a champion one day and be one of the greatest players ever. But maybe, listen, last point I'll make on this. If he is over it, and he is excellent this postseason, and then there's no more yeah buts about him, then you do start discussing him alongside Manning and Rodgers and Favre and Elway as the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen, other than the two greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen.
I was about
Like
to say,
that's
you said
he had
Manning, but Manning, you're saying, had like questions in his career. You know, he always had those
and he's
postseason
still
woes. And then
and
if
he's still
Lamar
the fourth
did it,
greatest
he would still
quarterback
be
ever.
Okay.
And Peyton's the fourth greatest quarterback ever. No, to me, Peyton. So I understand what you're saying, which is you're saying even if he overcomes it, why is he then just alongside Peyton?
Right.
I get the question. It's just because Peyton's had a 20-year career, won 5 MVPs, not 2 or 3, was first team All-Pro 7 times, went to 4 Super Bowls, won, like, so take Manning out of it because I get it's a little confusing. My point is, if Lamar goes on a great playoff run and they win the championship, then Lamar versus Aaron Rodgers instantly becomes a real debate. If Lamar does nothing else the rest of his career, Lamar versus Brett Favre, those guys, like, that becomes not a projection debate, an instant right now debate. So, but even if he doesn't, he has done so much great stuff in the regular season. I think that he's going to, and maybe this is the team, by the way. The other thing there is, maybe now DeMonte, because they have Derrick Henry, the Ravens finally have a team that even if Lamar has his worst game of the year, they win anyway. Like that, which is what Peyton was able to do. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.